I hate theater. Well, it's so disappointing, isn't it? You know what I do when I'm sitting in a darkened theater waiting for the show to begin? I pray. Dear God, please let it be a good show. And let it be short, dear Lord in heaven, please. 2 hours is fine, but 3 hours is too much. And keep the actors out of the audience, God. I didn't pay good money to have the fourth wall come crashing down around my ears. I just want a story. And a few songs that will take me away. I just want to be entertained. I mean, isn't that the point? Amen. You know, there used to be a time when people sat in darkened theaters and thought to themselves, what have George and Ira Gershwin got for us tonight? Or, can Cole Porter pull it off again? Can you believe it? Now it's, please, Elton John, must we continue in this charade? It used to be, sitting there in the dark, you knew that when the show began, you would be taken to a different world. A world full of color, music, and glamour. And you thought to yourself, my God, when are they going to turn up the lights? Oh, how things have changed. Hello, how are we this evening? I'm feeling a little blue myself. A little anxious for no particular reason. A little sad that I should be feeling anxious at my age. A little self-conscious anxiety resulting in non-specific sadness, a state I like to call blue. Anyway, when I'm feeling this way, blue, I like to listen to my music. So I was going through my records this morning. Yes, records. And I was about to put on the soundtrack to Meredith Willson's The Music Man. I had a craving for a young Ronnie Howard. But I said to myself, no, let's have a treat. Let's break away for a while into the decadent world of the 1920s, where champagne flowed and caviar chilled and life was a party. Well, for the wealthy anyway. So I dug about, and what did I find but one of my favorite musicals, Gable and Stein's The Drowsy Chaperone, remember? Music by Julie Gable and lyrics by Sidney Stein. It's a 2-record set remastered from the original recording made in 1928. It features a full cast, including Beatrice Stockwell as a chaperone. Isn't she elegant? And this was a full 15 years before she became Dame Beatrice Stockwell. Can you believe that? Let me read to you what it says on the back. It says, mix-ups, mayhem, and a gay wedding. Well, the phrase gay wedding means something completely different now, but back then it just meant fun. And that's just what this show is. Fun. Would you indulge me? Would you let me play the record for you? I was hoping you'd say yes. Do you hear that static? I love that sound. To me, it's the sound of a time machine starting up. All right. Now, let's visualize. Imagine, if you will, it's November 1928. You've just arrived at the doors of the Morosco Theater in New York. It's very cold. Remember when November used to be cold? Well, not anymore. November's the new August. It's global warming. We're all doomed. Anyway, it's very cold. There's a heavy gray sleep falling from the sky. But you don't care because you're about to see a Broadway show. Listen. Isn't it wonderful? It helps if you close your eyes. Overtures. Overtures are out of style now. It's a show's way of welcoming you. Hello. Welcome. The meal will be served shortly, but in the meantime, would you like an appetizer? That's what an overture is. It's a musical I don't even know what that means. All right, so I'll lead you through the record as best I can. Don't worry, it won't be hard to follow. So, we begin with a welcome from the love-struck groom.
Well, I would like to thank everyone for coming. I tell you, I must be some lucky fellow. Why, who would have thought that I, Robert Martin, would be marrying a glamorous showgirl, and that glamorous showgirl would be giving up a successful career to marry me, Robert Martin. Now, if it weren't for prohibition, I'd say let's raise a glass.
Here, here.
To Miss Janet Van de Graaff, the most beautiful girl in the world.
Absolutely not.
Excuse me.
The bride mustn't see the groom on the day of the wedding. It's bad luck.
I hope you heard that, because that's the plot, basically. Hang on for a ride.
Breakfast will be served in the Arabian room.
Say, it's a little early to be drinking, isn't it?
I don't understand the question.
Just keep Janet away from Robert. You're the chaperone. That's your only job.
Aye, mon capitan.
Robert, who's my little monkey?
I am. I'm your little monkey.
So, the bride and groom are whisked away, and we turn our attention to the B plot, which involves the producer.
Mr. Felton!
Getting married and leaving show business.
Mr. Felton!
Doesn't she know I got obligations?
Mr. Felton, I can be a lead late. You said it yourself. I'm useless in the chorus.
Kitty, for the last time, you ain't got what it takes.
But I've been taking lessons. Singing, acting, ballet.
That
Yeah, and I'm pretty good too. Last week I auditioned for Swan Healy.
A little annotation. Kitty and Feltzig were a couple in real life, Jack and Sadie Adler. Now, this is a familiar comic construct, a stupid woman and her long-suffering companion. Well, she appears to be stupid, but in the end she does something quite clever that makes everyone wonder whether it's all been an act. The irony here is that Sadie was actually stupid in real life. Jack had to explain all the jokes to her, apparently. But still, she had a very successful time on stage. At this time, the theater was the only place that stupid people could earn a decent living. This is before television, of course.
Kitty, I don't have time for this.
Petty fool, Mr. Feltsy!
Now,
Perhaps a nice profiterole.
kids, I'm not hungry.
Then perhaps we could give you something to chew on.
Yeah, something that ain't food.
What?
Your confusion is to be expected. Although we stand here before you in the guise of innocent pastry chefs, we are also
And primarily,
employees of a said individual,
A certain individual?
who just so happens to be the largest single investor in the Feltsig's farms, and he is sent us here
as pastry chefs,
to express his concerns about Miss Van de Graaff's impending nuptials.
specifically,
That if she gets married and leaves the show,
Then
then there ain't no show.
Say, don't I know you?
no, you don't.
Have you ever spent any time in Toledo?
Have you ever spent any time in a coma?
No. But I have a cousin in Seattle.
Kitty, look, kids, you don't need to worry about that way. You can have my word.
Oh, we'll take your word, all right.
But to go back on that word would be a recipe for disaster. We hope we've made ourselves perfectly eclair.
One can only hope.
You must gotta be kidding me.
A trifle
Don't
much.
call with me!
All right! You can drop a pastry chef team.
Alas, we ganache.
We're on the land.
Lives in a tray, you macaroon!
The gangsters were played by vaudeville duo the Tall siblings, Jane and Peter Tall. They were born Idina and Mendel Moskowitz, but were renamed at Ellis Island by a board immigration official. They were an early representation of the typical Broadway gangster, full of wordplay and stylized movements. Not very intimidating, unless, of course, you find dancers intimidating, evening, which I do, but not for reasons that would be appropriate for the situation.
Well, Mr. Feltsy, we'll leave them out of your hands. In the meantime, browse the dessert carousel.
Try the Toledo surprise.
It's to die for.
Holy cats, Mr. Felton. They're gangsters.
Very perceptive. Now, go powder your face. Oh, how am I going to stop this way? Oh, Lord in heaven, how? How?
I've always thought that moment was a bit overplayed. So, with the story well on its way, let's head over to the groom's room.
Hey there, handsome. Show me those pearly whites.
The groom is played by the dashing Percy Hyman. He was the Albright toothpaste man. His fabulous smile adorned every tube. Albright was hugely popular in the 20s because it contained cocaine. It's true. If you read the label, it was the 5th ingredient down right after sugar. Anyway, it wasn't long before he became a huge matinee idol.
Now, don't you worry. It's perfectly normal for a groom to be nervous on his wedding day. It is? Of course.
I love Percy Hyman. Now, some people would say he's a bad actor, but to those people I say, shut up.
Hey there, Mr. Miller Man. Shaking and quaking. Trembling like them fraidy cats do. Something big be bothering you. Cold feet, cold feet. Brother, you've got cold feet. You can make them cold feet. With a little bit of cold feet. Cold feet can be uncontrolled. Rhythmic and cold feet drop down the aisle. Drowsy arches and learn swing. Icy toes can jive. Wedding marches playing ragtime swing. Make frigid souls come alive and take that dive. Gold feet, turn up into gold feet. Rhythm make them gold feet. Ha.
Well, you don't say. Well, why don't you just go back and eat my hole, you backstabbing worm? I'll have to find a new minister. Say, what are you up to?
I'm singing a song an old Negro taught me. A Dixie remedy for wedding day jitters.
Huh? You think you got jitters, you got the easy part. I have the weight of the wedding on my shoulders.
Georgia, it sounds like you've got cold feet.
What do I got?
Cold feet.
What do I want?
Cold feet.
What do I do? School feet?
No! Make cold feet hot.
performer. I like to think of him panting and sweating after a long dance routine. Oh, he's still alive, you know. I saw him on the news recently celebrating his 100th birthday. To say that the passing years had taken a toll on him would be a grotesque understatement. They wheeled him out and he had that wide-eyed expression, you know, the one that God saves for the very, very old on their birthdays. The one that says, "Who are you? Who am I and why is this cake on fire?" Anyway.
Well, that's enough of that. Dancing around like a fool.
Sorry, Georgia. I'm just trying to calm my nerves. It is my wedding day, after all.
Well, you could have snapped an ankle. Tap dancing is too dangerous. Why don't you go out for a skate instead? That's what I do when I have to blow off some steam.
Oh, Georgia, what would I do without you?
Wait! Oh, no. You are not going out like that, my friend. You might see Janet. Here, put on this blindfold.
Georgia, you think of everything.
Just looking out for you, my boy. And no more tap dancing.
Just ignore it. It does this occasionally. It rings. It will stop soon. Just ignore it. What? What do you want?
Hello, you have reached my answering machine. Leave a short message after the tone, and I'll call you back at my convenience.
Well, that's it. The moment is ruined. It's like a cell phone goes off in the theater. God, I hate that. Hello, what are you doing? Oh, I'm ruining the moment. How about you? Oh, I couldn't get out tonight, so I thought I'd ruin the moment by proxy. Sorry. Let's just shake that off. Let's go back in our minds to 1928. They didn't have cell phones in 1928. But I'm sure they had something for the ruining of moments. Bugles or something.
Happy wedding
The scene shifts and we find the bride. The glamorous Janet Vandegraff, entertaining questions from reporters as she lounges by the pool.
Miss Vandergraff, is it true you can become a successful career for married man you hardly know?
Yes, Robert and I met on the Lido tank of the Ile-de-France. He amused me with stories of his father's oil companies. We spooned briefly, and then he proposed.
So you won't be returning to the stage ever?
I shan't.
You shan't?
I shan't.
Can we quote you on that?
Of course. One more question? Yes.
Why in the world would anyone put olives in a Gibson?
I got a question. Janet, how can you give up a life when you know very well you got grease paint in your veins?
Victor, please.
Oh, Janet, I'm begging you. Dump the mug. Come back with the follies. I'll give you anything you want. Oh, fine. I'll put your name above mine on the marquee.
Victor, if you think this is about vanity, you couldn't be more wrong. I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to sing tunes no more. I don't want to ride rooms no more. I don't want to show off.
Shit's coming, Saul.
Don't worry, kids. This ain't over yet.
Yeah. I'm surprised she didn't do an encore.
She was the Oops girl. Surely you remember the Oops girl? Don't you people read? She was billed as the girl whose sexual energy was so great that it caused men to have accidents. Spill their drinks, drive their cars into trees, and she would go, oops. Well, I'm not doing it justice, but people ate it up. And she created a whole series of films, too. Oops, the Oops Girl. The Oops Girl Comes Home and Oops Girl at Sea, which won an Oscar for special effects.
Well, begging and groveling didn't work, so on to plan B. And for that, I need an accomplice. Someone gullible with loose morals. I need, what do you call him? A European.
In walks Aldolfo, self-proclaimed ladies' man. Aldolfo was played by former silent film star and world-class alcoholic Roman Bartelli. He was the one who would later drink himself to death at his chateau in Nice, remember? It was 5 days before they found his body, but by then it had been partially consumed by his booze. Well, it was only partially consumed.
Excuse me, I don't think we've met.
I am Adolfo.
You are Adolfo.
Yes. I am Adolfo.
Not the Adolfo.
Yes, I am Adolfo.
Funny, you don't look like a scoundrel.
Yes. What?
Oh, I just overheard the group saying that Adolfo is a scoundrel. I just heard it say that.
What? Adolfo is a scoundrel?
Those very words.
Adolfo is a scoundrel.
It's like I'm hearing it again.
This is outrageous! And you're saying this to the people, to the beautiful ladies with the breasts, for the lovely. Come on, Amos. You must.
You must take matters into your own hands.
Yes, I will take this groom into my hands and kill him.
Yes. No! Don't kill him. Just hurt him bad enough that he can't get married.
Show me to the groom. Wait.
What?
What kind of man is this groom? Big man?
Well,
Where will he follow?
well, he's big on the outside.
No. Adolfo will not fight the big man. No, small, pale, easy, door. People Adolfo can, but no big man.
So, you're a lover, not a fighter.
Yes, Adolfo is a lover of beautiful. Someone call me the king of romance.
Well, you know what they say. The best way to get back at a man is through his...
Door.
No. The best way to get back at a man is through his...
Window.
No. Revenge. Back at a man. Through his...
Through his, there was no other way. I want Teddy Paul coming down the chimney.
Through his woman! Yes, Adolfo. You must seduce his woman.
His who?
His bride.
Adolfo make love with his bride. There's some people, Adolfo is no scoundrel. Show me to the right. Where?
What?
What kind of woman is it, bride? Big woman?
No.
Burly woman?
No. She's the cat's pajamas.
Pajamas?
She's a looker, an attractive woman.
Show me this, bride. I'll make her.
Stop!
You couldn't get away with a performance like that on stage nowadays, could you? Mature, contemporary, sophisticated audiences are too mature for that. So we banished them to Disney. Let the children sort it out.
Yes, madam.
Pastry chefs have been hired enough to provide the liquor for the party.
Yes, madam.
Remember, Emily, we must be discreet.
Yes, madam.
Prohibition, after all.
I'm aware of that, madam.
Going to have to use code words. For instance, if someone asks for a glass of ice water, it means they want a glass of vodka. Have you got that?
Yes, madam.
Maybe you should write it down.
I understand. A glass of ice water is a glass of vodka.
What's a glass of ice water?
Vodka?
Ice water.
Vodka. Vodka.
Good. Not settled here. One less thing to worry about. Anthony, might I please have a glass of ice water? I found our meeting with the pastry chefs rather trying, and I would enjoy a refreshing glass of ice water.
Your glass of ice water, madam.
That's pure vodka!
No, I hate this scene.
I do need a glass of ice water.
A glass of ice water, madam?
Yes, are you very deaf?
Oh, I'll put that I will.
You can see where this is going, can't you? It's just a series of spit takes.
Your glass of ice water, madam.
That's pure vodka!
You know, in some ways, the Drowsy Chaperone was quite progressive.
Your glass of ice water, madam.
Pure vodka!
Yes, some elements were quite progressive. Others were stale in 1928. You know what, I'm going to skip ahead.
That was...
Lime juice, madam.
Lime juice? For heaven's sakes, why?
I'm going to wring out my eyebrows and make myself a guilt.
Now you're probably asking yourself, what was that routine doing in this show? Well, it's very simple. There's a song coming up and they needed it to allow for a set change. It's just mechanics.
In a few hours, I'm going to be Mrs. Robert Martin. Oh, my head is spinning.
Yes, life is a bad whirlwind.
This is an interesting scene. This is the only part in the show where Jane Roberts and Beatrice Stockwell are alone together on stage. Jane Roberts was an emerging star, but Beatrice Stockwell was well established and a force to contend with.
Oh, I'm so full of apprehension. But I suppose that's normal, given the circumstances. Have you ever been married, Chaperone?
No, my dear. I drink for pleasure, not out of necessity.
Your glass of ice water, madam. I'm afraid you've eaten all the others.
Have you ever been married, Emily?
Oh, heaven's sakes, no, madam. Oh, I'm going to serve a woman. I prefer to be paid for my efforts.
I know it seems crazy to give up a successful career to marry a man I hardly know. But somehow, for some reason, when I look into his eyes, his big monkey eyes, gee, I get all woozy. And that's love, isn't it?
Not necessarily. The wooziness can come from any number of things. I mean, I'm woozy right now, and I'm certainly not in love.
Now, Beatrice Stockwell was very famous for her rousing anthems. She entertained and inspired the troops in every major World War conflict up to and including the Falklands War. Of course, when she was in her 80s, her anthems didn't much rouse or stupefy, but still she demanded that a rousing anthem be included in every show she ever did, even if it wasn't appropriate, but you couldn't say no to her. That's star power.
Oh, I suppose I'm just looking for a few choice words of inspiration.
Inspiration? Really, dear? That's not my forte.
I know, but if you could just try.
Stumble along on life's funny journey as we stumble along into the blue. We look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do. We stumble our way through life's crazy labyrinth, barely knowing left from right, nor right from wrong. And the best that we can do is hope the bluebird will sing his song as we stumble along.
That was That was quite nice, Chaperone, but I'm afraid I'm still confused.
Let me explain.
Well, really, that's not necessary. I suppose I'm just looking for sympathetic eye.
Such is the little world in which we live. It can bore you till there's nothing left to give. 7 overrated wonders, 7 underwhelming seas, 6 excruciating continents, Antarctica. Oh, please.
Antarctica, please.
Still, you mustn't let it lick you. This planet, oh so bland. Keep your eyeball on that highball in your hand as we stumble along across life's crowded dance floor.
Well, why don't you just ask him? Why don't you go up to him and say, Roger, do you love me? It's Robert. And I'm not allowed to see him. In fact, it's your job to keep me away from him. Oh, you're right. And I take that responsibility very seriously. However, just now, I'm feeling terribly, terribly drowsy. I think I'll have to have me a little lying down. Now, whatever you do, don't go wandering through the garden seeking out your fiancé to ask him the question on which your future happiness depends. Don't go asking. Don't do it.
Oh, thank you so much, Chaperone. I just need to know if he really loves me.
Oh, such a skinny little fool. Oh, but I do India. Oh, when will love come crashing through my door?
Look who it is. It's Adolfo come to seduce the bride.
I am Adolfo.
Try not to think of the poodles when you're listening to this part.
I am Adolfo, and you are the bride.
No, I am not.
What? This is the bridal suite, and you are the only one here. Therefore, you are the bride.
Interesting argument. However, I'm afraid you are a moron.
What?
Me no bride. Perhaps I could take a message.
Oh, yes, very, very good. Dear, very, very bride. I must make a love to you and transport you to a place. Sooner is better. Signed Adolfo, the king has heroic.
You found me out. You saw through my little ruse.
Ah, so you are the bride.
Apparently, yes.
We must make love.
I could do worse. Take me down, doll face.
No, not Adolfo, Adolfo. You must remember my name for when we are making love. And you're screaming it, you must say the right name, or you will spoil everything. Now, how can I make you remember? I'm sure that you have heard the name Adolfo. And ladies and who is the claim Adolfo? Well, I'll be beside and not sing Adolfo. I introduce myself, I am Adolfo.
Nice to meet you. Shall we?
Not so fast. So just in case you didn't hear Adolfo, I'll try to make it very clear Adolfo. The lovely ladies always should Adolfo. When I repeat myself, I am Adolfo.
Understood.
I can sing it high, Adolfo. I can sing it low, Adolfo. I will sing it very fast, I will sing it very slowly. I do it now, but it will take hours. Now let's see if you can remember my name.
I'll give it a shot.
Now who's the fellow that you see?
Adolfo.
And how shall you refer to me?
Adolfo.
And who is it that always free?
Adolfo.
Now sing it proudly.
You are Adolfo.
Now let me spell it out for Joe. But all you lovely ladies that didn't hear it for some reason, because maybe you are hard of hearing or something. I don't know. It goes. Da ha ha ha
mean a real Latin lover, not a buffoon. But that's the point of musicals, right? Romantic fantasy, falling in love at the drop of the hat, spontaneous tangling, suddenly finding yourself in an insanely romantic setting.
Don't worry, madam. I'm getting married today, so I have to wear a blindfold.
A blindfold?
This is a good scene.
I'm sorry, who am I speaking to anyhow?
Why, it's me. I mean, Mimi? Mimi from France. So, you were wearing the very red bread, no?
Oui,
I hear she is very beautiful.
oui.
And very glamorous.
Ah, oui, oui.
I hear she has an exceptionally broad range and excels in playing both comedic and dramatic roles.
I'm having a hard time placing your accent. What part of France are you from?
Oh, this is the middle part. Where there is a toast. You were telling me about your, how you say in English, fiancé?
Ah, that's right.
So tell me, when was the moment you knew she was the only one for you?
Well, it's a funny story, actually. We were standing on the Lido deck of the Ile-de-France.
Yes.
I was amusing her with stories of my father's oil interests.
And then what happened?
I looked into her eyes, big, glamorous eyes, and I felt all woozy.
And then you fell. And then you fell?
Yes, right on my keister, and I said, well, I guess I don't have my sea legs yet.
But we haven't even left the dock.
That's what she said. And then I knew it must be love.
And then what?
Well, I said, there was a time I could stop on a dime. Forbearance was one of my talents. But since you've been around, I can't hold my ground. I'm consistently losing my balance. I'm in an accident waiting to happen. I'm a mishap about to ensue. I'm in my own snare, a three-legged chair, a hymn that's been caught by a
have been working on a mind reenactment. Presenting Kitty, the incomprehensible! Now think of something.
Oh, I'm thinking of something, all right.
Wait. I'm getting it. Pick up some milk and a loaf of rye bread. And don't forget to shave your legs.
You're reading your own lines, you idiot.
Oh, no, that was so easy. Mr. Felton,
It would seem the wedding's proceeding according to schedule.
Now it's time you received your just desserts. What do you say, Pilot? Should we book something special for Mr. Felton?
Yeah, how about a Toledo surprise?
An inspired choice.
A Toledo surprise? I've never heard of that.
No, you haven't. Those people who've heard of it are generally never heard from again.
We'll share the recipe with you.
First you chop the nuts,
Then you pound the dough.
then you bake it up nice and slow. Then you got a Toledo surprise.
Could you run that by me again?
It's a very simple recipe, Mr. Felton.
First you chop the nuts,
Then you pound the dough.
then you bake it up nice and slow. Then you got a Toledo
surprise.
What do you say? Should we give them a taste?
All right.
Hold it! What style? What rhythm? What grace? Now, open your fists. Now, shake them. Now, give me that recipe one more time.
Chop the nuts, pound the dough, bake it up nice and slow. Then you got a Toledo surprise.
Now, sell it!
With the peach, peel the skin, mush it up, throw it in. That's a taste of Toledo surprise.
Now you're cooking.
Beat it up, then you sweet it up, then you heat it up. If it tries to rise, don't let it snap. Try it first, whip the whites, split your yolks, then you got a split Toledo surprise.
Your boys are natural.
Honest.
Yeah, keep it up. I'll work on the contract. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mr. Felton, what's going on here?
Kitty,
Toledo surprise.
I developed a new act.
You're gonna put gangsters or something you won't put me in? They're not even in the UK!
Yeah, you got it all wrong, Kitty. These kids, they're your backup dancers.
Holy cats! When I Toledo does, I will beat out good. Yes, to beat out sugary alcohol. Surprise! Spice the brain, grease the pan, lick the spoon, lick the pan. Blush your tuxedo, Toledo surprise!
Now he make an announcement. Wedding is off.
What? For the love of God, why?
And offer me love, the bride.
That's not the bride, you idiot. That's the chaperone.
What?
The wedding is on. The wedding is on. What? Robert kissed a French girl. Her name is Phoebe. She's very beautiful.
I couldn't help it. She was just like you. Only French.
Sweet mother of pearl.
Exactly. What is all this commotion about?
It's the wedding, madame.
Oh, is it going to be a wedding?
Not anymore. What a tragedy. What a wonderful, wonderful tragedy. Little boys, I'll show you how it's done. First you beat it up, then you sweet it up, then you heat it up. If it tries to rise, don't let it. Toledo surprise.
Surprise?
Wait till it's ready.
Surprise?
Wait
They yank you back to reality. One moment you're lost in the glamorous world of music and romance, and then bang! You're surrounded by tourists, crinkling candy wrappers, and nattering about the lack of women's restrooms. It's cruel.
Oh,
It's a power bar. I have a bit of a blood sugar issue. I have to eat small meals throughout the day or else I get all jittery. It's rude, I know, but you wouldn't like the alternative. Believe you me. Believe you me. Well, what are you waiting for? Go grab a snack and use the restroom. Don't forget to come back. Oh, good, you're back. I was just thinking about my wedding day. The ceremony didn't start until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't have bread and breakfast. I do. Are you surprised that I was married? Well, you shouldn't go making assumptions about people now, should you? I'm a very complicated person. I have to pee now. I won't be long, I promise. And while I'm gone, you can listen to the beginning of Act 2.
But, Emperor, sometimes a different outlook can change your point of view.
What?
Precisely. What is it about the Asians that fascinates Caucasians? What is it about the Asians that's so nice? Is it the bonbons, the egg-rolls, the rice? Perhaps it's Buddha or Confucius and their excellent
Is it about Caucasians that mystifies we Asians? What is it about Caucasians that's so ugly? They call a pretty lady abroad. They have hair upon their chest, and they only have one god. Impossible!
Sorry. This song is not from the Drowsy Chaperone. This is from another musical entirely. I have a woman who comes in once a month. Can you say that? I have a woman? Anyway, she cleans the things that I absolutely refuse to clean. She's very good, but she has an annoying habit of putting my records away, and all in the wrong sleeves. Even though I say no touch records, Carmela, no touch records. I suppose that if I talk to her in complete sentences, she'll stop touching my records. Anyway, that song was from another Gabelenstein show called The Enchanted Nightingale. It's a degrading piece of chinoiserie about an emperor who is told by a magic bird to marry his American allocutionist instead of his betrothed, and he ends up building the Great Wall of China. A slap in the face to 4,000 years of Chinese history, but it had some wonderful tunes. That was Beatrice Stockwell as the chaperone, the wrong show. That's Beatrice Stockwell as American Lady. And did you recognize Roman Bartelli as the Emperor? He is a man of 1,000 accents, all of them insulting. Act 2 of the Drowsy Chaperone begins with this. It's a haunting lament from a very depressed bride. She sings it on her balcony, bathed in the pale blue light of a sympathetic moon, which is ridiculous because it's the middle of the day. Oh, while you're listening to this, try to ignore the lyrics. They're not very good, but the tune is beautiful and it truly communicates the bride's state of mind. Just ignore the lyrics.
I put a monkey on a pedestal and tried to make that monkey stay.
Busby Berkeley, a little Jane Goodall. And that's another thing I love about musicals in general. When a character is in crisis, they break out into song and dance, which is so much more interesting than sitting around and whining about it. Anyway. Oh, you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is life. You manage to be happy for 5 seconds and then something starts ringing.
Beautiful day for a wedding.
Shall I have the fuel removed now, madam? Or would you prefer that I wait until morning?
I'm going to stop here. I don't want this number interrupted by another ringing telephone. Here we have 2 vaudeville performers who have slipped through the cracks of time. Their names are Ukulele Lil and Noel Fitzpatrick. I don't know anything about them. Actually, I tried finding out more about Ukulele Lil. I suppose she plays the ukulele, although she doesn't in this show. Actually, I went through all my books to try to find out more about her. I even tried the internet, but all of my searches ended up with Tiny Tim's autopsy photographs. Anyway, they're both charming.
Why would you want to have a removed?
The bride is called off the wedding, madam.
Oh, Anthony, never listen to a bride on her wedding day. Love is a very complex emotion, I believe.
Yes, madam.
While you can be so close to somebody 1 minute, and the next minute, just want to strangle them. You do understand.
I'm familiar with the urge to strangle. Yes.
You see, that's just the nature of love. Love makes lovers worry, love makes lovers fret. But here's a fact on which you can depend. Just like long ago when Romeo loved Juliet, love was always lovely in the end.
Romeo and Juliet was a tragedy.
Never read the reviews. Love can start a quarrel, love can cause a din, but love has always been a trusty friend. 'Twas a happy fate for Hank the Yater and Boylin. Love was always lovely in the end.
I was going down our Anne lost my head.
She was in love, love was good to me and Anna.
Why did we want him?
And Samson and Delilah too.
Good grief, but I pose a question, madam.
Yes, of course.
Why does nothing I say to you ever get
But not if I do.
Love is always lovely in the end. I will never get to you my
Love speaks up behind you, love draws from love. Love will never consciously offend. Love is certainly kind to me. I'm true. Love was always lovely.
Your late husband was a brute.
I don't need him, you silly kids. Love was always lovely.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Love was always lovely in the end.
Love is always lovely in the end.
Yes, that was charming, but to be frank, on some level, that number pisses me off. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that love is not always lovely in the end. Often in the end, there are lawyers. And another thing. Surely someone was aware of the awkward sexual connotation of that title? I mean, is it just me? I guess what I'm saying is that number is naive. And irresponsibly so. Sorry, I just thought that needed to be said for the benefit of the younger people. I won't interrupt anymore. Oh, there's a number coming up that I've become completely obsessed with.
about that.
You poor dear, haven't you heard? The wedding's been called off.
Oh, not your wedding, mine. Oh, that reminds me. Might I borrow your veil?
You're getting married? But to whom?
You guys want them here? Beautiful lady with daffodil expression.
You're marrying
Adolfo? I know, it's surprising. But when I look into his eyes, his big clumsy eyes, I get drowsy. And that's love, isn't it?
Yes, dear, that is love.
There you are. All right. I'm going to put all my cards up on the table. I got a weak heart. I can't take this pressure. If this goes on any longer, the old ticker's going to get up. Just please tell me, is there going to be a wedding or not?
Yes.
Thank the good Lord in heaven!
Adolfo and the chaperone are getting married.
What? I have good news. It's going to be a wedding.
We know.
You know it? Yes. And you know, I told her. You come here.
What difference does it?
Good friend, Mrs. Thorntondale and I are going to be married in the garden at 7:30.
What?
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 Oh, yes.
Congratulations to everyone.
Say, what kind of cockamamie wedding is this? Everyone's getting married except the bride and groom.
Oh, there you are, Janet. I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hello, Mr. Martin.
Oh, please don't be that way. Can't you find it in your heart to marry me? Georgia has gone through all this trouble, and, well, I do love her more than I can say.
But you kissed another woman.
Yes, and I just can't understand it. Look, I know this may sound ridiculous, but when I was kissing Mimi, why, it was just like kissing you.
Robert, that's because you were kissing me.
Wait, you're Mimi? Well, that French accent was remarkably accurate.
Thank you. I developed it when I played the role of Monique in Hold That Baguette.
There you are. Now, before you do anything, think about this. No matter how well you play the part of a happy wife, you will never, ever get a standing ovation.
Oh, I just don't know. Oh, I'm so confused. Chaperone, please, just this once, give me some advice that is appropriate to the situation. Should I marry Robert?
Okay, now here it is, the moment I was talking about. Not only the culmination of the plot, but a moment that has fascinated me more than any other and has brought me back to this record again and again. Listen.
Well, my advice to you is
And here it is. Listen.
live while you can.
You see, you can't quite make it out because somebody sneezes. I'll play it for you again.
Live while you can.
Is she saying live while you can or leave while you can?
Live while you can.
I mean, it's Beatrice Stockwell, so it might be a cynical quip, but it is a wedding after all, and that's exactly what you think when you're standing at the altar, isn't it? Live or leave. And you have to live because you do love them in some way. It's not an exact science. An arrow doesn't come out of the sky and point to the one you're supposed to be with. So you say it to someone someday. You say, I love you, and you phrase it as a question, but they take it as fact. And then suddenly there you are, standing in front of her with her $3,000 dress and tears in her eyes, and her nephew made the huppah. So then what do? Do you say, I was kidding? I was joking? No, you have to live, right? You choose to live. And then for the next couple of months, you stare at the alien form in bed beside you, and you think to yourself, who are you? Who are you? And then you say it out loud, and then it's a trial separation and couples counseling, and all of your conversations are about her eating disorder and your Zoloft addiction, and you're constantly redefining and reevaluating and revisiting before you finally lose the deposit on the house, and the whole relationship ends on a particularly ugly note with the only copy of Gypsy spinning through the air and crashing against the living room wall. But in the broader sense, in the larger sense, it's better to have lived than left, right? You have no idea how many times I've listened to that.
Oh, thank you, chaperone. Brother, my answer is yes, I will marry you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Mr. Feltzig, looks like this wedding is a done deal.
Now you're in trouble.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
But there is. I found a replacement. A new leading lady. Presenting Kitty the Incomprehensible. Now, Kitty, concentrate and show these people that you can read my mind. My mind.
Well, what are you ladies waiting for? You go on and put on your frillies. We'll all get married in one big lump. That's how they do it in Utah.
Well,
All right, everybody stay calm. It's a horrible old apartment with terrible wiring. Don't talk to anyone. Don't let yourselves get distracted. I'll find the fuse box. Everybody quiet. Oh, God.
The lights are out.
Yes,
And we turned power off, so we put a new breaker panel down in the basement.
yes.
Well, when we did, we got it done, and we put the lights, their power back on, and all of the breakers in the apartment stripped.
Yes.
And I got to reset your breaker.
Now?
Yeah, it only takes a second. Oh, by the way, I tried to call earlier, but there was no answer.
Oh, I've been having issues with my telephone.
There we go.
Show, you know, a musical.
Oh, you like musicals?
No. Oh, really? Well, goodbye. Oh, that's it. The moment is ruined. One note away from the end of the show and the mood is broken. Oh, I should just start the record all over again. Oh, no, I can't do that. Can I? Oh, you have to understand. I love this show so much. I've never even seen it. My mother gave me the record. This was right before my father left us. Oh, he didn't leave because of the record, although I'm sure it didn't help matters any. Look, I know it's not a perfect show. The spit take scene is lame and the monkey motif is labored, but it does what a show is supposed to do, you know? It gives you a little tune to sing with in your head. A little something for when you're feeling blue. As we stumble along